Alright, everybody, prepare yourselves for another house party. And this one's gonna be the Pajama Jam itself. Here's my review of House Party 2. Yo, this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1991 comedy flick House Party 2, released by New Line Cinema as a sequel to the film that came out the previous year. Now, the film returns most of the cast from the first film, including Kid in Play and Full Force. Plus, there's Queen Latifah, Iman, and other entertainers like Tony, and Ralph Tresvant. The film was directed by Doug McHenry and George Jackson in their directorial debut, with the story written by Daryl G. Nickens and Rusty Cundiff. Anyway, now this film, well, might have gotten some mixed bad reviews, but it still did well, a little bit well. It didn't quite come close to its predecessor, but it kind of came, well, this close. Now, before I get started on my review of this, if you haven't seen my review for the first film, I advise you to click on that card and it'll take you so you can see my review of the first house party in case you might miss it or if you want to see it again. This was released in October of 1991 after Kid and Play's own Saturday morning animated series had just recently premiered on. Wait a minute. No, after it was canceled. I'm sorry. Oops, made a mistake. It was after their show had ended. Oh, my head was not thinking. Their show had just ended after one season. My bad. And my mistake. Anyway, this film was dedicated in memory of Robin Harris, who played Pops in the first film. Of course, he died 9 months later after the film was released. Now, I'm going to try not to give the whole story away for this. But anyway, after high school graduation and his father's passing, Kid, with scholarship money provided by the congregation of his church, is able to go off to college with his high school sweetheart Sydney. Play, now driving a Ford Mustang instead of his beat-up old wagon, meets Sheila and her associate Rick. Really a con artist, Sheila convinces Play she's a record executive and she'd like to sign him. He just has to put some money down in order to start recording. Lured by dreams of stardom, Play signs over Kid's college scholarship check. Unaware of his actions, Kid starts school and meets his roommate Jamal Johnson, a white kid with an obsession for all things black. But when Kid tries to enroll in his classes, he realizes he left his scholarship check in Play's car. Thus, he cannot pay his tuition and enrollment fees. When Kid goes to receive it, he fights Play after finding out what Play did with the check. Kid then tries to reason with the dean, but is only given a week to pay his tuition fees or face being kicked out of college. Miles, the dean's assistant, helps Kid win an extension and a job in the dining hall, working for Mr. Lee, a man who runs the dining hall like a military officer and insists Kid wear a hairnet considering his big hair and what have you. At the same time, Zora Henderson, Sydney's socially conscious roommate, tells her that Kid is just a boy and she should use her college experience to explore and date real men, causing extra strain on Kid, in addition to having to work to pay for school as well as having to write a big paper for a demanding professor. To top it off, Kid is hunted and persecuted by his high school bullies, Stab, Zilla, and Pee Wee, who take jobs as campus security. But Play, who was visiting Kid at one time, he decides again to not one of his schemes, have an idea that would make Kid's life easier. Hold a pajama party in the school's dining hall. Kid refuses though, but both out of his mistrust in Play and his fear of Mr. Lee leaving Play to have to come up with another way to repay Kid. But they managed to try and pull out, but well, and they do find out about Sheila being a con artist and what have you. But I'm really not going to give you much more of the story and what have you. So I'm not going to give you no more of the story. So I'm not going to really spoil everything and what have you. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you what I thought about House Party 2. I've gotta say, I really enjoyed this just as much as the first one, and what have you. It had a whole lot of fun and what have you. And some pretty good music too, which and its soundtrack did actually do much better than the soundtrack for its predecessor, and became the most successful of the House Party soundtracks. Of course, it included some performances by Kid and Play themselves, of course, which included their big hit single "Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody." Plus, there was also Ralph Tresvant and Tony, who are of course featured in the film. Let's see, Rex in Effect. Let's see, Belle Biv DeVoe. Oh, the list goes on and what have you. So anyway, that was pretty good and what have you. Vassal Binford does the score for this, which wasn't too bad. Now, our cast, we have Christopher Reed and Christopher Martin, aka Kid and Play, back, and they are still pretty good in what have you, and they're funny as well. Martin Lawrence returns as well as Bilal, who's pretty funny. The trio the trio of the guys from Full Force are back. Lucian Bow-legged Lou George Jr. as Pee Wee, Brian B. Fine George as Zilla, and of course Paul Anthony George as Stab. We have Tisha Campbell back as Sydney as well. Also, we have Queen Latifah as Zora. Playing the Dean is William Schallert, who most of you know him from the Patty Duke Show. And Mr. Lee is played by Tony Burton, who you may know him best for playing Duke in the Rocky franchise. There's even Whoopi Goldberg making a cameo as well. So anyway, so you'll know the cast isn't too bad here. This film came close to doing as well as its predecessor, making 19 million. Not really much to be said at the of the Rotten Tomatoes and what have you. So not too much I'm going to give on it. But I will say that I really like the pajama party bit they had. I gotta say, it was absolutely very cool and real fun to check out as well. So anyway, House Party 2, I think, was just a real good film and why have you to get down and party with. But would I recommend it? I would say sure, go ahead. Well, my thumbs are up, not just for hell yeah, but I'd say sure, go ahead. But if you are a hardcore completionist, then I would say maybe. But but on the other hand, I think a very would be maybe a one-time watch. So it'd be sure go ahead and give it a one-time watch if you are a hardcore completionist. So anyway, House Party 2, definitely really a fun movie. And I think you'll really like it if you give it a watch. So what did you think of House Party 2? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And stay tuned, I'll be bringing you a review of House Party 3 later on. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of another one of my favorite films with Martin Lawrence, that being Blue Streak from 1999. The upper right-hand corner is my review of a very funny film with Queen Latifah, that being Bringing Down the House from 2003. Or you can go, or if you'd like a little more dance moves and whatever, you go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of Flashdance from 1983. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.